So, all these low-lying, gentle place hills. So I brought in this little booklet. I bring this out to show. Here's a male mission blue butterfly. And then this whole life cycle, starting from an egg all the way up to caterpillar stage where it looks like this. Well, I'll skip ahead a little bit. Incidentally, those guys, that's when I was, 1997. The whole Northeast Ridge section, door down. I don't know if we call that, is that Terror Bay 2 or something? All those houses got built. Patrick said, from Colbertness, from TRA, says, come on, Thomas, come check this out. We're all going to destroy all these houses here. You can take some of the caterpillars if you want to. So I took them home, raised them, and released them back as butterflies. But you go back there now, the same spots, all those places, all the lupins there, it's all gone already. And you can see this huge mark going up the ridge, which is sad, it's really sad. So we'll skip ahead to the few places that are left where they still exist. Pacifica, where they've been scrunched down into these little islands. Same thing too, some governments, bureaucracy, or the municipalities, they're trying to balance development and the butterflies. And they go, let's fence up the lupins and little fences, and then they'll be okay, they'll be protected. Not realizing it's not just, you can't just keep a wild thing little fence, but it's this confluence of factors that affects this tiny little islands of habitat. Marin Headlands, that's another spot. I worked for the GGRNA, surveyed for butterflies up there for them. And here's San Bruno Mountain. Check this out. That's the diversity that if we could take you up here, it's not just a scrap of rock and dirt and brown grasses. It's like if you've ever been into the rainforest, you see like few hundred trees in a hectare. Hundreds of different species, not just for Doug fir cedar and stuff like that, but hundreds. And there's one that bleeds latex. Here's one's got maybe cure from malaria. Here's one. That's what you have on San Bruno, but on a tiny, tiny scale. And here's, the Northeast Ridge. I would love to show up. So if I was like a contractor, I'd be like, hey, okay, come on, let's go. Let's raise it all, and I would rebuild it for you. I'd be like, okay, let me estimate how many rocks I got to bring in, how many plants I got to replant. But the thing that's so precious about this place is that you can't build it. We can't do it. We don't got the technology. We don't got the know-how. We're working against the forces of evolution here. So, not as a scientist, but for me, as a papa, I would like to protect this. So when my kids come, when the school kids ask me about the Mission Blue, I go, we made this epic effort, and we put up a good fight, and for this, they're still around, they're still on the Northeast Ridge, and they can move in these corridors back and forth up and down the mountain. And we haven't just scrunched them up into these little mountain, windy hilltops, and we go, we'll let them survive. But in 15, 20 years, boom, all the forces that conspire against them, from our habitats, from our actions, well, they'll just go. And maybe they'll never see it. They'll be like, that's cool, I got my virtual world, but then all this nature, this beauty is all gone. So that's what we come here to speak about. I hope, hope that you can, I don't know if it's the proper word to save, but let's preserve this stuff. Let's preserve this best we can. This is great. This is the biodiversity that we have. These grasslands, these butterflies. This is the unique stuff that there's nowhere else in the world. So, I don't know. How's the 10 minutes, Mr. Mayor?
You still got a green light.
You still got a green light, so you keep going?
No, you can stop anytime you want because.
But
actually, you're so entertaining. I might give you another hour, but.
No, we'd love to take you maybe up on a walk here in the springtime. So this was kind of interesting. So in 2006, I got called back. They go, hey, San Bruno Mountain Watch goes, hey, Thomas, can you come check out this spot? I go, sure, I studied there before. I'll come walk around for you just to look at what's there, because I'm curious to see what happens on the Northeast Ridge. When I was there, I found a gray fox that was bumped on the side of the road. It was dead. And then I picked it up and put it in the Northeast Ridge, and all these different, 3-4 different kinds of beetles came to feed on it. And I was like, that's pretty cool. I don't see that in town, different kinds of beetles feeding on the gray fox. And then later I heard, these guys carry bubonic plague and stuff. I was, God, what have I done? I didn't want to go touch it without gloved hands. But anyway, so I go up Northeast Ridge, and I start just walking these things, because there was a little bit of data about the calliope, about the Mission Blue, but not that much, not that much about what they actually do on this ridge, other than, let's make this out so we can, pass the muster, just keep the grease on and keep it moving so we can get this project done. So I walk up and down, and track all these butterfly plants, and I wrote them down and marked it on a map. And I happened to work for a city college, and there's these guys, the San Francisco Professional Gardeners Association, headed by this old dude, Gus Bucare. He's like 75 years old. He's been teaching 45 years there.
Now your time's up.
Okay. So he goes, let's publish. So then we published the article, and that's the research.
Okay.
That I felt, is good, corroborates what people have been telling, but I never got to see, experience for myself in depth. So I think we sent it to you in the minutes. I think a lady named Cherie or something, Spadach.
Sherry,
Is that right? Sherry?
Sidiachi. That's our city clerk.
We send that to you. I think she's got that science report too.
Okay.
Good enough.
Thank you, Thomas.
Well, thank you very much for your time.